All right. I'll discuss about that question. Just one or two small points, not related to trigonometry, but actually, I personally like pure geometry very much. In school level, you study in 8th or 9th or 10th class something about triangles and polygons and all, right? Okay. Whatever you learnt, each and everything that you learnt in the lower classes is somewhere or other will be useful for us in these 2 years. All right. Of course, and what you are learning now will be useful later. Okay. So I want to just give one or two examples. Okay, how even in pure geometry in the school level we can cover nice, what I can say, little complicated concepts. They appear complicated, but they are very simple. I'll give one simple example. This is a question you done in straight lines, but I want to give you another perspective to it. Let's say this is x-axis, y-axis. Let us say I have a triangle with me, solid triangle or like a set square kind of thing. Okay. Let's say this is 5, this length, this is 12, this is 13, this angle is 90, this angle is some fixed alpha, this angle is some fixed beta. Okay. This is let us say P, this is A and this is B. I will move in such a way that this point A will always move on x-axis. This point B will always move on y-axis. What is the locus of P? You have done some question like that, right? Yes? Okay. Now, the locus of this point is actually a straight line. I'll give you an idea how it is a straight line without using coordinate geometry, just by using what you learned something in 8th class or 9th class. First thing is, when I keep the set square where A is here and B is completely down, it will be like this, correct? And after some time when I keep completely, that is point A comes here, point B comes here, it will be like this. Okay. One time B was here, A was here, another time A is here, B is here. Okay. But from here to here, as we are moving this point will move slowly like this. And there will be a particular portion where B can be here, A can be here, and we can have figure like this also. P is here, A is here, B is here. Okay. What I want to show is, as I slowly move this point will move like this on this one also, from here to here. Why that is a straight line? Can't it be a curve like this? Can't it be a curve like this? Okay. I'm going to use one very simple property that you studied in school level. If I take a circle, take a chord, and this is one segment. I think all of you know angles in same segment are equal. Okay, I'll just use that. What I want to show is whether point P is here or here or here, when I join to origin, this angle is always constant. I'll prove that to you. Okay. How will I prove is, can I say this origin A, B and this P, they are always concyclic. There will be a circle passing through this point, this point, this point and this point. How is that? This angle is 90, this angle is 90. What is sum of opposite angles here in this quadrilateral OBPA? 180. Okay, sum of opposite angles 180, these are cyclic quadrilateral. In fact, if you take a circle with these two ends of diameter, it should pass through P and pass through O, because angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. All right? Okay. Now, you join to this. If this angle is alpha, definitely this angle is alpha. Why? This is a chord, this is a major segment. This angle is same as this angle. Angles in same segment are equal. Am I right? Okay. Because this alpha is constant, this alpha is constant. If this angle is constant, this slope is constant. So locus of P is a line passing through origin. And what is the line equation? Y equal to tan alpha into x. And what is the tan alpha from this right angle triangle? Opposite is 12, this is 5. It will be 12 by 5x. Done. Is it right? Okay. So I just proved that angles in same segment are equal. I just used that concept. Okay. So this is a small point that you learnt in lower classes, but a question which may be complicated, may not be complicated, but we could do it another way. Is it all right? Okay, let me talk about another question here. Okay, let us say there is a point, let us say this point is 12, 5. I am sure you have done questions like there is a line passing through a fixed point, this is O, this is P, this is Q. What is the least value of OP plus OQ? Or what is the minimum area of triangle OPQ? something like that you have done questions. Okay. I want to make one statement based on, that means you can prove it anyway. I want to prove it by pure geometry. What is that? Let us take a fixed point 12, 5. Through that I can have many line segments. Okay. I can have A here and B here, or I can have A here and B here, or I can have A here and B here. I'll get every time a triangle OAB, I'll get different areas. But out of all these things, that triangle where 12, 5 is the midpoint of that line segment, at that time area will be least. I am making a statement that among all the line segments where one vertex is on A, one vertex on B, for that line segment where 12, 5 is the midpoint, that triangle area is least than any other line if you take passing through 12, 5. Okay. If I understand that, finding this least area is very easy, because this is 12, 5, this should be 24, 0, this should be 0, 10. This area is half into 24 into 10. That is the least area. We could find just like that without writing much. But how to prove that? Okay, these two lengths are equal, and this is 12, 5. Okay, let us say another line segment is there where this is not the midpoint. I have to just show that this area of triangle is less than this triangle area. For both the triangles, this quadrilateral is common, and for this triangle is extra, and for this triangle, this piece is extra. You can easily see this piece is bigger than this piece, right? That means this plus this will be greater than this plus this. Apart from visualizing that this is bigger than this, I will prove to you why this is bigger than this. Through this, you draw one horizontal line. This small triangle and this small triangle are congruent triangles. Why? Because these two are equal, vertical opposite angles, alternate interior angles. By angle side angles are congruent, means this area and this area are same. Then this has some extra area, right? So that means what? This area is only least, no? That's a proof. Okay. Have I used anything complicated coordinate geometry or something? Simple pure geometry. Just I use a small construction. This is parallel to this. Okay. So it may help you to sometimes save time. Apart from that, I wanted to show the power of pure geometry in some questions at least. In second year, when we study other chapters like circles, complex numbers and other things, we will be using whatever we learnt in the school in many situations. Okay. Alright, coming back, morning, what was the last question I gave? 10 sin square x plus 8 sin x cos x, 4 sin x cos 8 cos square x. Okay. Actually, these numbers doesn't matter. I can give some other numbers also. Okay. As we discussed morning, somebody can take cos square x common. We'll get something in terms of tan square x, but it's difficult to find both maximums and multiply, and they will happen simultaneously. Yes.
So we can write both tan into cos x, 2 into sin 2x.
This is 2 into sin 2x. Okay.
And we can write tan sin square x is tan of 1 minus cos square x.
Okay, you can write. Then we'll be left with 10 plus 2 sin 2x minus 2 cos square x. Then what?
So we can write 2 cos square x plus cos 2x plus 1.
Yes.
Then we get 8 dx.
Yeah. What I will do in general, even if the numbers are different, how to do this question is, I am going to write sin square x as 1 minus cos 2x by 2. And this is 2 into 2 sin x cos x is sin 2x. And the cos square x as 1 plus cos 2x by 2. Now, this if we cancel, you get 5 minus 5 cos 2x. This is a formula for sin 2x. This is 4 plus 4 cos 2x. Okay, now 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 2 sin 2x. This and this together is minus cos 2x. Okay. Is it in the form of a sin x plus b cos x plus c now? And in the place of x, what is there? 2x is there. You can use formula c plus root a square plus b square c minus. So what are the numbers doesn't matter. Every time we'll write this one like this. This one will write sin 2x by 2. This will write 1 plus cos 2x by 2. you will definitely get something into sin 2x, something into cos 2x plus some constant. So it will be 2 sin 2x minus cos 2x plus 9. So maximum is equal to 9 plus root over 2 square plus minus 1 whole square, 9 plus root 5. And minimum equal to 9 minus root over 2 square plus minus 1 whole square is 9 minus root 5. Okay, so after completing this, any doubt in this? Okay. After completing this, I wanted to make a formula a sin square x plus b sin x cos x plus c cos square x. Find what is the maximum value, what is the minimum value. What is your name? Huh? Charan Sai. Where is Nandakishore? I want to talk to you after class is over. You came to the college 12 o'clock or something? Or from morning? 12 o'clock. Anybody got any formula for this? What is the maximum value? I said those who completed, find for this what is the maximum value and minimum value. A sin square x plus b sin x cos x plus c cos square x. A into sin square x plus b into sin x cos x plus c cos square x. Okay, this everybody understood the solution, right? Okay, you can try to write sin square x and cos square x in terms of cos 2x and this in terms of sin 2x. You will get something into sin 2x, something into cos 2x plus some constant. A sin x plus b cos x plus c maximum value c plus root over a square plus b square. Okay, So it may be difficult to remember this formula, but you have to remember this method how we derived it, so that of course this formula you should remember. What is that? A sin x plus b cos x plus c, maximum value is c plus root a square plus b square, minimum value is c minus. But for this we may not use very frequently, but whenever needed you know how to do it. Okay. So it is important that you know the process of how we got these two formulas than just somehow by hearting these formulas. What is your name? Kirti. Sri Kirti, huh? What? Sai Kirti. Srilata came to class. You are Srilata. Out of all the people, your house is nearest, right? Anybody else staying very near to this building? Both of you also. Where is your house? Where is that? Okay. Yours also GRT is down, right? So those who are staying very near to the college, they should work more because for them traveling time is less. Lot of people are traveling 1 hour this way, that. Okay. Hostels doesn't have to travel much at all. Yes, anyway they do that. They don't have option. Really, hostel life is quite difficult. Okay, because at home now you can eat whatever food you want. At least you can demand your mother to make this or something. These people have to eat what they given in the college. Even if they want to break their, no, they want to have some, they want to break all the tensions and all for some time. They don't have any TV, nothing. Just studies only, right? Hostel. Okay, I'm going to erase this whole thing. Everybody is clear? Yes. We are writing. Yes. Now, what is your name? Ashita. And yours? You are Sonali. Sloka. Okay, done. Okay, listen, just now we done this question. I want to give an example where there's a particular question in second year. It may be little complicated in second year, but using this what we learned just now, it is somewhat easier. I'll give one example. Many of you studied about this equation, ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. I'm sure Patnaik sir might have talked about it, that this one equation, okay, it covers the lot of motions in the nature, okay. The planets' orbits and all are elliptical orbits, most of them, okay, and something like that. So they are governed by this equation, this one equation, and first year and second year in coordinate geometry and math, you will only study about this equation practically, nothing else. In pair of straight lines we studied. In second year we have circles chapter. Circle equation will be like this only. After circle, next chapter is parabola. It will be equation will be this only. After that ellipse chapter, after that hyperbola chapter. But all of them this one equation only. Okay. There are different conditions. For example, for it to be pair of straight lines, delta should be 0 and h square should be greater than or equal to ab. Something like that we have condition. Okay. If delta not equal to 0, then it will be parabola, ellipse, hyperbola and circle. And in that we will have many cases. Okay. But we will be studying about this one equation. And we also study about this, that the point of intersection of pair of straight lines in this is hf minus bg by ab minus h square, hg minus af by ab minus h square, right? Okay. In translation of axis chapter, this is a point to eliminate first degree terms, right? And same formula is there in pair of straight lines for point of intersection of the lines. Same formula is there in circle. This is the center of the circle. In ellipse, this is center of the ellipse. In hyperbola chapter, this is center of hyperbola. Okay, same point only. Now, if these extend, no, ellipse has two foci, but center is only one. Okay. Now, let us have a particular ellipse with origin as the center, and the ellipse is somewhat like this. Okay. This is a long axis we call major axis. This is a minor axis. Okay, right. Let us say this equation is something like 5x square plus some 7xy plus 3y square equal to 1. This is the equation of the ellipse. I wanted to know what is its maximum length. From the origin, different points on the ellipse are at different distances. Out of all that, this is a maximum distance and this is a minimum distance. I want to find what is this length and what is this length. And I also want to know at what angle this will be there and what is this angle. Now, what I will do for that, you take any point on this and join to origin. This is r and this angle is theta. Then what are the coordinates of this point will be? R cos theta and r sin theta. Because this is a simple right angle triangle with hypotenuse r, this angle is theta. So, this is r cos theta and this is r sin theta. Put this r cos theta come r sin theta here. You will get 5 r square cos square theta, 7 r square sin theta cos theta, plus 3 r square sin square theta equal to 1. Take r square common, you will get 5 cos square theta, 7 sin theta cos theta, plus 3 sin square theta equal to 1. Bring it down, you will get r square equal to 1 by 5 cos square theta, 7 sin theta cos theta, plus 3 sin square theta. As you change theta, r will change. I want to find maximum value of r and minimum value of r, right? Okay. If I want this to be maximum, this should be minimum. And if I want this to be minimum, this should be maximum. So I have to find the minimum value of this, maximum value of this, take reciprocal and apply square root. I will get this maximum length and this minimum length. And this is a question just now we studied, right? Something into cos square theta, something into sin theta, something sin square theta. Okay, so when I discuss the previous concept, let us say you look past your advanced questions, you may find not a single question is given on that concept. But in ellipse chapter, this question might have been given, where you have to use this concept. Okay. So whatever we are learning in these chapters, they can come directly those questions, or later on in another chapter we may be using that concept. So this is just one example of that. Is it clear? You don't have to write it. Just listen that we are using the same concept later on. That's the point. Okay, so I want to continue maximum minima, some more things. Yeah. I'll give some 2-3 expressions. Try to find maximum minimum value of that. Sin square x plus 4 sin x plus 20. Find maximum minimum value of this. Okay, coming to this first one, you can try to make this into perfect square. This I can write 2 into sin x into 2. This 20 I can write 2 square plus 16. This will become sin x plus 2 whole square plus 16. Sin x is between what to what? Minus 1 to 1. If I add 2, sin x plus 2 will be between what to what? 1 to 3. Okay. When it is minus 1, it will be 1. Yeah. This alone is between minus 1 to 1. After adding 2, it will be between 1 to 3. If you take anything between 1 to 3 and square it, what is the minimum and what is the maximum? 1 to 9. So, when 1 plus 16 will be the minimum, 9 plus 16 will be the maximum. So, for this, maximum will be 3 square plus 16, which is 25. Minimum will be 1 square plus 16, which will be 70. Is it okay? Okay, like that, try this and this. Don't just write the final answer. You have to write in between steps also how we got that answer. Okay. What is your name? Last boy there. Huh? Shreyas. Okay. And where is your brother Adar? Why? What happened? You came by college bus in the morning? Yes. 4 sin square x plus 4 sin x plus 30. Okay. 4 sin square x I wrote 2 sin x whole square. This 4 sin x I wrote 2 into 2 sin x into 1. 30 you write 1 plus 29. This together is perfect square, right? Okay. 2 sin x is between minus 2 to 2. When I add 1, it will be between minus 1 to 3. You take anything between minus 1 to 3 and square it. What is the minimum? What is the maximum? It is not 1 and 9, rather it is 0 and 9. You take minus 1, minus 0.8, minus 0.4, minus 0.2 and 0, 0.2, 0.3, 1, 1.5 and 2. Take all the numbers between minus 1 to 2. And without all that, something square, it cannot be negative, then minimum will be 0, right? Square of anything, minimum will be 0. But one may say in the previous one, why did not write 0 here? Because it cannot attain 0. When will sin x plus 2 will be 0? When sin x is minus 2. Can sin x be minus 2? No. That's why I have not taken minimum as 0. But here, 2 sin x plus 1 can be 0. And the square of that is 0 and that is the minimum. Okay. So if you take a number between, forget about this simple common sense. If I take a number between 2 to 7 and square it, what is the minimum, what is the maximum? 4 and 49. If I take a number between minus 5 and minus 3 and square it, what is the minimum and maximum? Maximum will be 25 and minimum will be 9. If I take a number between minus 3 and 7 and square it, what is the maximum, what is the minimum? Maximum will be 49 and minimum will be? No, 0. In between 0 is also there. Right? If I take minus 10 to 3, all the numbers between minus 10 to 3 and square them, what is the minimum? 0. And maximum? No, it is not 3 square. Rather it is, what is the square of this? Bigger than that, right? Okay. So don't think maximum square is always the square of this. Even the square of this can be maximum. And minimum is not always a smaller number square. It can be even 0. You have to be a little careful with all that. Okay. So here it's okay. I said this is between -1 to 1. When you add 2, it is between 1 to 3. You take anything between 1 to 3. When you square it, it is between 1 to 9. Okay. But coming to here, 2 sin x is between -2 to 2. When I add 1, it will be between -1 to 3. If I take anything between -1 to 3 and square it, minimum is not 1, rather minimum is 0. Okay. So here minimum will be 0 plus 29, 29, and maximum will be 3 square plus 29, which is 38. Okay. So after completing this, in the similar lines, think about this. Nine sin square x minus 6 sin x plus 50. Yes. Minimum. Square of something, it can't be negative, right? So minimum is 0. Okay. But I said instead of that way, better to see one step by step properly. Sin x is between -1 to 1, correct? 2 sin x is between -2 to 2. You want me to write, I write all the things, but -1 less than or equal to sin x less than or equal to 1, right? Multiply 2, -2 less than or equal to 2 sin x less than or equal to 2. Add 1. Anyway, we are studying inequalities on the other track. Okay. So we'll add 1. -1 less than or equal to 2 sin x plus 1 less than or equal to 3. But from here, you should be able to write that 2 sin x plus 1 whole square, not this square and this square. It is between 0 and 9. Okay. Because in between 0 is there, the square of that is the least possible value. Yeah. Coming to this, anybody want to tell some answers for this? Maximum 53.